Sixth key to living a bulletproof life. Now, this one is the most important one. However, all the previous ones, and if you haven't watched, check it right here, the intro, and then the first, second, third, and so on. All of those videos have been leading up to this. Now, we've asked some very deep questions. We went into, what do I actually want? And, there's so much more to it, so do make sure to check out the videos. We went into who is in control? Why am I running? How to stop running, right? Connecting to yourself, allowing freedom to yourself and others, and what does that really mean? And today, key number 6, the final key. Let's dive right in. Okay, so today's key is crucial. It's transformational. If we do not get this, life will forever be suffering. So as the Buddhists say, all suffering is because of attachment. There's a little bit more to that. The concept that it is so important to master, to have a bulletproof life, because as I shared in the intro from my own story, yes, it was beneficial because my father's passing and then the health issues, the physical and mental health, showed me just how much off-center I was. If that didn't happen, I would still keep numbing. And some people have these experiences and they still keep numbing themselves out. But that woke me up. That allowed me to understand just how out of alignment I was, how fake my life was. It wasn't true fulfillment. It wasn't real. And in the last few videos, we discussed what is it that actually creates that real feeling of fulfillment. What do you really want? Are you living your purpose? Why are you here? I'm going to begin by sharing a story of a client who had a very, very successful business. And although it's successful, it has its ups and downs. It's successful, it's contributing very much to people, and sometimes it gets great exposure, it's doing amazing, and other times it doesn't, and you kind of wish it would go better, right? Just those ups and downs of life, the roller coaster. And I was in the session with this person, and they go, I want it to just be smooth, and I want to stop experiencing those ups and downs. I just want that financial abundance to be there all the time. And I point out, because I know the history of how the business has been doing, and I point out, at which point is your mind going to create that screenshot, that snapshot of, okay, now, right? So you're watching this life like this on the screen, I was observing, and you take a moment of right now, like click. See, if you take a moment right now, it sucks. Like your business is not doing well, you don't have any clients. And then a few weeks later, like right now, your business is like super successful and it's amazing. And there are all these new people and prospects and it's doing really, really well. And then again, it takes another snapshot of, oh, okay, we'll see you're a failure again. Because really it's failing, so you're a failure. That's what the ego uses there when we identify with that which we create. So at which snapshot do you choose to believe? And that allowed them to kind of step back, this person. They went, oh yeah, it is really dependent on what the snapshot is because it keeps changing. The reason I'm sharing this with you is to get so comfortable, not on the mind level, not on the mental, understanding, the cognitive understanding, but really going deep, feeling that nothing is permanent, loving the impermanence. And this is something that we can feel when we go to a deep meditative state. For example, Vipassana is a 10-day practice that you begin to just observe your sensations and you don't react. And you see how everything is coming and going, and nothing is permanent. And then after a while, you feel how even, you could, sometimes when you're in such a deep meditative state, you can feel your cells multiplying. You can feel your hair growing because you become so sensitive to those subtle sensations. I remember in my own experience, I felt like a lot of things were changing. Okay, anybody had that on their spiritual path, on their spiritual journey, where it's like, what the hell? What is this roller coaster? There's like a lot of moving parts and I just wanted to stop. And I was experiencing that. Okay, so it was an extreme of like, I just wanted to stop. And my guidance told me, because I said that I want stability. And in that moment, my guidance told me, what are you talking about? You're asking for something that is impossible, that doesn't exist in the universe. And it is true. If you look at your hand, it seems solid, but it really isn't. Everything's moving. If you look at, a phone, a mug, a stone, it seems solid, it seems stable, but it actually isn't. If you look at its molecular structure. So what my guidance communicated to me is that, sweetie, I understand, and with so much love and compassion, but what you're asking for doesn't exist. The mind tries to get the snapshot of, okay, now it's peaceful, now it's stable. But first of all, you wouldn't want that because it would get very boring. And it's against your nature. Your nature is for expansion. And that is kind of, God has a sense of humor with this one, because there's a part of you, your soul, your essence is like, yes, I want to expand. What else do I want? I want this and that and this. And just like, I want more. Not from a greedy place, but just, I can create. Like if you observe a toddler, they're like, ooh, what else is here? And then parents go, it's like, well, that's greedy, or you want too much. It's like, no, I'm just wired for expansion. That's the inner being. That's just what naturally comes through. And then there's a second part. That's the ego. That's wired for survival. That's wired for the opposite of all of that. That's going into comfort. How can we stay in the familiar? How can we not grow, not expand, just stay exactly where we are? I want stability. Stability is something that doesn't exist, because everything is always moving. And I know that when my father passed away, I wanted that to not happen. I wanted to turn back time, even though we're all aging, and that's the beauty of it. And we get to experience life from these new perspectives that comes with aging, from the newly gained wisdom. I know that I wanted stability. I just wanted things to stop just in that moment, especially and if you went through a spiritual awakening or going through a spiritual awakening, I know you're definitely in that place of, this is just a lot, and I feel like I have to relearn how to live. And I don't want to do that, and that's overwhelming, and that's a lot. So, taking a deep breath into the body, understanding that the part of you that wants stability, that wants certainty, isn't really you. It's a part of you. It's that persona, that mask, that identity. But you're connected to something so much greater. You're a part of something so much greater. You have within you the same energy that allows trees and flowers to grow, your hair and nails. That which you don't have to micromanage, all the best things in your life. If you think of those truly powerful moments when you felt so connected, they were usually not in your control. They were usually random occurrences where you just got so present. Something that you couldn't have possibly orchestrated on your own. Can you trust that? Can you let go of your ego's attachment and longing for stability for something that doesn't even exist? And just become present. And open up to the feminine energy that is constantly moving. There's always something new. There's always something changing. And you can be in this place of not resisting that, but going with the flow and having so much fun as you do it. As the Buddha said, as I said at the beginning, all suffering is due to attachment. It's due to that longing for stability, for consistency. It doesn't exist. I remember a book by Osho that I was reading said that the only lies are consistent. Your nature is not consistent, and is the beauty of that. Learning, meeting someone anew, learning about things, about this person, about the situation for the very first time. Getting out of the mind's, oh, I know this, I've already experienced this, so I don't need to experience it again. And meeting everything for the first time. And not from this, because the mind would get overwhelmed, right? It's like, whoa, this is way too much and I don't want to handle all of this. Not from that place, from the place of wonder and curiosity as a child would. Are you open to doing that today? Because true freedom, true connection, that is reached through that of loving the inconsistency, loving the chaos, loving life. That is where your true power is. So I hope that you've enjoyed this series of 6 videos plus the intro. I do want to welcome you into the one-on-one self-mastery program. I'm opening up a few spots, and I've actually opened up my schedule over the next few days starting March 1st to 3rd for a few clarity calls. So if this is for you, if this resonates, reach out to me at info@thepowerfulself.me or DM me at the spiritual analyst on Instagram. If you want to just get clear on what is the next step for me, how do I embody this, and this may not necessarily lead to working together, because sometimes it's either the person may not be ready for that, or maybe just out of alignment, it's not the right fit. And in that case, I would just suggest to you some, whether it's a book, whether it's a practice, something tangible that you can walk away with, or maybe just getting clear on what you want. So if you want support with this is absolutely free, no strings attached. Reach out to me and we can go from there. And on this note, I thank you for watching, and I'm wishing you such a powerful day.